right. Thank you both for coming today, Mr. Wilson and Ms. Peters.
Whatever. I'm just here because her lawyer's making me. I really don't care what happens, honestly.
Okay, well, I just want to go over a few things. My name is Elizabeth. I'm the mediator today. So I'm glad you guys are here and willing to come. I understand that you are willing to be here.
Someone is not. Just, no.
Well, I just want to go over why I'm glad that you still are here.
Sure.
Because I hope you guys do understand the purpose of mediation in general and also pertaining to the situation. Because I think that it would do a lot of good for both of you because you do live next to each other, and I don't think, according to the situation, that either of you plan on moving. So I'm hoping that...
I've been there for 20 years, so I'm not going anywhere.
I just bought my home.
I don't care.
It doesn't mean that you live there for a long time that you can do whatever you want.
I can do whatever I want.
No.
I've known the neighbors
There's
longer
no
than
law
you.
that says just because you live in a property for 60 years that you don't have to obey the law.
Not that old.
I'm sorry. Are you guys ready to start? Did you want to take a quick break? Or,
No, I don't need a break.
Let's just keep going.
Okay. So I just want to make sure that everyone has their voices heard right now. So I'm just going to go over a quick synopsis of what is going on. And then after that, you guys both will have your turn to talk with no one else talking. And
She's going to need a lot of time to talk.
We will just hear, I would like to hear both sides before we dig into anything deeper. So just from my understanding, it seems that you two are neighbors, and there's you had previously agreed to build a property line fence because it broke down, and there has been some disagreements on who should build the fence and what timing it should be done by, and also where the fence lies. So if someone is willing to speak first and the other is willing to just be silent and listen, and then the other person will get their turn. So is there someone that would be willing to talk first, other side? Okay, great.
I will. So,
Miss Peters, why don't you go ahead, and Mr. Wilson, just understand that you will have your turn.
Let's just hear the lies.
Okay, you will have your turn to talk after, so
Okay, well, I appreciate it.
just part of the process, okay? Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so Ms. Peters, why don't you go ahead and tell your entire side of the story, whether it's pertaining to this exact situation or not. Anything will be helpful for us.
okay, so I moved from California. Okay, I'm 30 years old. I bought my home, and it's hard for me to pay all the money to fix up the place, okay? And I'm so happy to move to my new home, and I want to put a fence, between our driveway, and you agreed to have that fence made up in October.
I agreed to build it.
Ms. Wilson, please. Thank you.
And this is now, February, and it still didn't happen. So I asked my friend to build it for me, and of course it makes sense to have you pay for it because it's been how many months? And it's just a fence. It shouldn't take that long to build a little fence.
I'm a retired old man.
1 second, please, here. Why don't you go ahead and you can direct towards me just the facts of what happened on your side.
Well, okay, so I have a few roommates that lives in my house, and we need the fence, because your yard, you have these grass and all the dry dead leaves that are blowing into my yard, and I don't have time to clean that. And also my roommates, they don't have time to clean that. So, I just want the fence.
So you feel that is one of the main reasons is that there's some of his leaves coming onto your lawn?
Yeah, that.
And then do you feel that that's affecting you and affecting your house
Yeah, it's
worth, or to the roommates, or
it's every time I have to clean it, and if I'm trying to get new roommates, and then it takes forever for me to gather all the, the dirt, the dried grass, the leaves, everywhere on the front porch, and, and also, in general, it looks better to have a fence, for my house, and
so you feel that it's going to add to the worth of your house and add to the amount that you can charge your roommates?
Yeah.
Roommates.
Roommates. That's right. I'm 30 years old, okay, and I bought my own home, so.
And is there, do your roommates have an opinion on the fence?
Yeah, they want it. They feel like, it makes more sense to feel like this is a home, our home. Not, since our house is only like 14 inches apart from the driveway, like we feel like we need something that can separate.
So in order for you to have that sense of security, you also need the fence? Is that what else do you feel makes it more your home?
I mean, besides that, we kept to ourselves, we don't make loud noises. You shouldn't be that mad at us for just asking for a fence. I mean, it's the least we can ask for.
How do you feel that you've been as a neighbor so far the past 2 years that you've lived there?
So we only have 3 girls living in the house, and we're, 2 of them are students, and I work, and we are busy people, It's just like a regular home. We are.
And how have you acted towards Mr. Wilson in the past?
I mean, besides this whole fence deal, we're okay. I mean, I know that he volunteers at a church, and we're fine. We just rarely see each other during the day. Except that when I get off work, I say hi to him. But after this shenanigan happened, like, he just became so mean to me and the girls that live in the house.
So, in your opinion, you feel that he's bullying you?
Yeah. He not only screamed at us over just for a fence, okay, and he literally watched us through the window, which is so creepy to have all girls living in the house with no protection, no guys to help us out, and it's scary.
I'm a good Christian man.
You yelled at us the other day, and you cursed at us.
One thing, you'll have your turn very soon to talk, and we'll discuss all of this. So just continuing on, so you got a sense that you didn't feel safe without the fence, or that you needed the fence also for security reasons?
For security, for sure. That's a big thing for me and the girls that are living in the house.
Is there any windows or anything that are facing towards where the fence could go? Is that why you need some more privacy also?
Yeah.
Or is there any other issues that the fence would help?
Before all this happened, a fence is not that big of a deal until now, because when I see how aggressive he is, I would definitely want the fence up, because our wall, we have 2 windows, one's for the bathroom, one's one of the girls' bedroom, and I'm sorry, but you are creeping on us, and we definitely need that fence
bullshit. That's bullshit.
You see that?
She's not even good looking. What the hell are you looking at?
We had 2 other girls, okay? It doesn't matter how good we look, okay?
You're not hot
I'm
shit,
sorry,
okay?
Mr. Wilson, please. Please let Ms. Peters continue.
Just don't talk to me, okay? Talk to
It's
her.
not hard to think about
She's
this.
talking to me.
3
It's
girls.
okay, you can go ahead and
Don't even look at me.
focus your attention on me and just discuss any more details of the situation that you want me to know, or anything about your relationship with Mr. Wilson.
I just want my fence, okay? And you're not taking it off. You either pay for it and have it done in 2 weeks, or I'm not sending the
Have you paid your friend anything already, or is it not paid yet for the work that he's already done?
Yeah, I paid him. He wouldn't do it if I didn't pay for it.
Okay, so, and you feel that Mr. Wilson owes you money for that?
Yes.
And
That wasn't our agreement.
how much how much did you pay for the work that your friend has already done?
$4,000.
You paid $4,000, okay. And that was for how many weeks of work?
Total of 2 weeks.
Okay, for 2 weeks. And what's the progress of the fence right now?
It's completed, but he.
From my understanding, I thought that Mr. Wilson was.
Yeah, it was completed, and then he tried to knock off one of the fence, so it's actually damaged.
Okay, so the damage now, do you think it's going to be another 2 weeks at $4,000 to start over because the structure of the fence was?
I don't know. I mean, he is probably going to destroy the rest of it.
Is there some sort of a specific example that you can explain why you feel that he is going to act that way in the future? Did you see, or is it just hearsay that it was him destroying the fence, or did you actually see?
He stormed out of his house and knocked on our doors, cussed at us, saying, "I do not want that fence. I'm not paying for that." And
she's such a good liar. It's just ridiculous.
Okay, one.
And you literally used a freaking hammer and tried to knock off one of the fence.
And he was successful in damaging the fence.
Not the whole thing, but part of it, yeah.
And so, in your opinion, is that...
so that's aggressive behavior, and that...
Listen, I only knocked down what I didn't agree to build.
Mr. Wilson,
okay.
We'll have time to discuss this openly in just a few minutes.
Okay, well, let's hurry this up.
So I paid for it, okay? And that also counts that he damaged my property.
It's my property too.
Okay, which you never paid.
You actually moved into my property line.
Mr. Wilson, we will get to the point
it's
where
not
we
even
can
property
discuss very
anymore.
shortly. Did you guys need to take a break? Does anyone feel like they need to take a 5-minute break, or did anyone want to speak?
No, I just want to get this done and go home.
Same here, but it
Okay.
seems like it's not going
So
anywhere.
I just want to let you guys know, once we will get past all this session has to start off with just hearing both sides. So we will hear both sides, I assure you, and then after that, we can go over the main things that we need to dig deeper into, and then we will talk about getting on the road to a solution, and we'll see if that is a possibility or not. So, is there anything else you wanted to add before we go over and hear Mr. Wilson's side? Or is everything you said cover all of it? All of your feelings about the situation or anything surrounding the situation?
Well, I just feel assaulted and really sad. I mean, I was really happy to move into my new home. I had all these plans and dreams, and he literally crushed it like that. And it's not easy to move out or sell my own home, you know, and I don't know how am I going to live next to him for the next few years. It just...
So I do feel that I'm very glad that you are here and chose to do mediation, because I do feel like it will help your relationship, both of you, will help your relationship for the future, and that it will at least lead to better communication or anything, and we'll see what we can do about the fence situation as well. Okay, so why don't we go ahead and move over to Mr. Wilson and his side of the story about the fence, or anything surrounding it, and anything else that you just want to add, or your feelings, or...
Well, you see...
Please don't scream at me while you say this.
Okay,
It's
Ms.
my
Peters,
turn.
yeah, please just let Mr. Wilson talk, and make sure, Mr. Wilson, that you are directing it. You can direct it towards me and just tell me what has been going on, and I can go ahead and listen. I'm here to listen.
25 years ago, me and my wife bought this home. She died of cancer 10 years ago.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, and I mean, my neighbors and I have always had a great relationship. until even when Miss Wilson first came into the neighborhood, I brought her Jello. We we had a great relationship, but somewhere along the line, I think we had a lot of miscommunication.
Oh, shit.
We've had.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Listen, stop laughing at me. Okay.
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I dropped. What? Okay.
So, anyway, so we agreed, the original agreement was for me to build a fence. I decided I'll provide the materials and I'll do the labor myself.
Mm-hmm.
We never agreed on how long it's going to take, and considering her whole situation with her house, it doesn't look like she really cares about timing. She's having people renting it out. She calls them roommates, but she's overcharging all of them. I don't even think she's following rental codes with how many people are allowed to be in that house.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a rental neighborhood. You know, if you can't afford it, maybe you should have bought a house somewhere else. But regardless, I agreed that I'm going to pay for it. I'm going to do the labor. And we never agreed on a certain time frame of when this is going to be done. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So I've already bought all the materials and I'm doing the work. And I'm an old man. It's not like I can just, get it done in a week. It's taking me a little longer. But whatever. Like, she doesn't even come to me and ask me, hey, can we speed up the process?
So
Or she doesn't even say,
that
maybe we can
Yes,
hire
I did.
someone. No,
I
She-
totally did.
she hires someone else. He comes in and just starts going off.
So do you
And
feel
then-
that there was a lack of communication coming from
Absolutely.
Ms. Peters about
Definitely.
the situation? Okay.
Definitely, because if someone would have asked me, hey, maybe we can split the cost and build the rest of the fence, then yeah. But all of a sudden she comes out of nowhere with a $4,000 bill and some guy is building the rest of the fence, which I already bought the materials for, and I didn't even charge her.
How much did you pay?
So
for the
far, I've
materials?
spent. I'm not charging for labor. I'm doing it all for free out of the goodness of my heart. I
Mhm.
understand that she's a young girl. She doesn't have a lot of money. I'm willing to build the fence, but $4,000 is just ridiculous. I paid for the materials almost $2,500,
Mhm.
and I was gonna do the rest for free. Sure, it'll take a little longer.
And this is something important to you that you want to build it
Well,
yourself?
yeah. I mean, I'm a retired old man. Like I can't listen. I have nothing to do with my time, but it's just difficult to This is my hobby, At this
Mhm.
point in time, I just need something to fill out. Stop laughing, goddammit.
Sorry, Mr. Do we need to take
A break?
Do you?
Do you need to take a break?
a 5-minute break? So sorry about that. I
Where was
seem
I?
to be having some sort of
I think she should call break.
illness.
Okay, we need a break.
Yeah, I think you need a break.
Okay, I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
Okay, no, don't. Just leave it because it's happens. Okay. I'll do a little make a back in session.
Okay,
Just
fine.
Y'all, I tried so hard, but two of you just.
Stop saying old. Stop saying
I'm
old.
trying to see your character, goddammit.
When you said Jello, that's like.
Oh,
I was like, who brings Jello?
That's normal. Old white people do that.
We're the old guy. We want Jello shots, okay? We don't want to eat your Jello.
I don't do
Okay.
shots.
Get back in character. Okay. Okay, thank you all for coming back in a timely manner. So I do just want to go over that you guys are scheduled here for another 30 minutes today.
Mhm.
And we'll see how much we can get done today and cover the situation. Otherwise, we can schedule another appointment and come back to this.
I just want to get this resolved as soon as possible.
Okay, so why don't we go ahead and continue with Mr. Wilson's side of the entire situation and just the overview of the relationship between you and Miss Peters.
So yeah, as I was saying, the fence started getting built,
Mm-hmm.
and yes, I did maybe get a little angry and start taking down the fence,
Mm-hmm.
but that's only because there was just no communication. Like
Mm-hmm.
I just felt like I felt like I was not in the loop, and it was just a little ridiculous that some guy is on my property line building a fence, and then he wasn't even following the proper line. He was kind of coming into my
So you
property.
feel that the line which the fence was being built on was also
It was
incorrect.
going off.
The property
Yeah,
line.
it was
Okay.
going off the property line into my property.
And
That
did
is
you
not
guys
true.
have a proposed property line ahead of time?
Yes,
that-
I actually had a surveyor many years ago come and take records of the property line.
Mhm. And you discussed that with Miss Peters about where the
Yes.
property line was.
I
so-
was building the fence on the property line that
And
I
did
had
she-
the surveyor do many years ago.
And did she know? Did she verbally say anything to you that she knew about where the property line was, or was it just
Well-
you
Yes, I
assumed?
knew 14 inches.
Yeah,
I measured.
Exactly,
Okay?
yeah.
Mhm.
So I feel like it's nothing that complicated. You should be able to figure that out.
Mhm.
But when you just hire people without really going into depth about it, I don't know.
So
when they
you
just
feel
pop out of
that
nowhere
there
and
was
start building
just-
things.
Miscommunication between Miss Peters and the person building her fence.
Yeah.
Her friend. So you think
Mhm.
that she misinformed the
Yeah.
person? That's what you feel?
And he didn't even ask me, do you have materials? He just went and bought his own things and started going off. Even if he wanted to build it, I would have paid for his labor, and he could have used the materials that I already have.
Okay, so
There's
you
just
feel.
no communication whatsoever.
We tried, but you were
I'm
at the
sorry, Miss
school.
Pierce. One more minute. Let's just go ahead. I just want to dig deeper in one thing. You did mention that you would be willing for her friend to use the materials that you have.
Correct.
So you don't feel that that you yourself have to build the fence?
I understand that I'm an old man. It takes a little bit longer, but regardless.
So is that something that is important to you? Is it important that you physically are using your hands to build the fence? Or
it was a nice hobby, I
Mhm.
enjoyed it. It gave me something to do with my days aside from going to the church and reading books to the children. But
Mhm. So do you feel that, excuse me, so you feel that it's more on a personal level that this is something that you feel
I really honestly,
that
it
you,
gave me something to live for,
okay, so it had personal meaning to you that you could have something to work on in
Mhm.
your retirement, and that so you felt in a sense that Miss Peters was taking that away from you.
In a
She was-
sense, essentially, yeah.
Okay, and so
And that may be why I overreacted in the way that I did, which I'm sorry for.
okay, so you do understand that you may have come across as the ways that Miss Peters says, or do you?
I
feel
mean, the things that she
situation
says
was
about
different?
me peeping at her through the window and whatnot, that is just ridiculous.
You did.
I'm a good Christian man. I do not do such things.
But
That
you're
is just
still a
ridiculous.
man. Okay.
So what?
So do you feel that she is accusing you of something that you
Why
did
are the
to-
accusation?
Let's excuse me. Sorry.
Miss Elizabeth, this is not funny. This is not funny. Come on.
So you feel that so why don't you explain in your own words the situation of the peeping?
There is no situation.
You won't
So-
admit that.
There is no
Can
situation.
you give
It's
an
ridiculous.
example of, so according to Ms. Peters, there were times in the afternoon when you were over towards the window, and I don't know if there's some
Well,
explanation on your
there's
end.
so
of
many
why.
people living in that house. I'm
Mhm.
just curious to know who lives there. Like, it's just so bizarre. There's no other house in the neighborhood that just has random people coming in and out
I
always.
was walking my dog
It's
that day.
just
You know
odd. It's just odd,
So,
you know? There's some weird things going on in there.
So you also are, so on your list of concerns, you do have concerns about your neighbor's behavior, and is there anything that is personally offending you or affecting your daily life?
No,
Is there any
no.
noise or is there any...
They're good neighbors, you know, but there's just
Mhm.
so many of them. I don't know if it's legal.
There's just 3 girls living in the house.
It's a 2-bedroom house.
Yeah,
So how
Two
many
of them are
bedrooms are you
students.
renting out?
Okay, so that's another thing. I mean, the main thing, Mr. Wilson, is that at all affecting you personally in any way?
No.
Is that okay?
I would love to come out of this with a good relationship with my neighbors. I have a great relationship with pretty much everyone in the neighborhood since I've been there so long. And, you know, I don't want anything but positivity in my life. So far, this is not very positive.
Okay, so
And it's just ridiculous because I was doing her a favor by building the fence.
so I'm glad that you are willing to take a turn in both your relationships. Is that correct?
I would hope
So
so.
I understand that you are willing to move past
Past
this
this,
issue
yes.
once it is resolved. And okay, so I think definitely I'm glad that you're here in mediation, and I do feel that we can
It's just the fence, you know?
accomplish something about that. Yeah, I'm glad that you definitely seem that you are more involved in this mediation session than when you first stepped foot in here. So I'm glad to see that we can start focusing more on something towards an agreement. So
I just don't want any restraining orders or any of these crazy things off of these wild accusations. You
what
know,
would the
it's
restraining order mean to you?
To me, it would mean the end of a lot of really important things to me. You know, like I told you, I don't have much to do with my days aside from building this fence and going to the church. So if I had a restraining order, I couldn't even do that. You know, it would just be me and the fence.
Well, if you're
And I don't
a
even have the
neighbor-
fence anymore. I don't even have the fence anymore.
So the restraining order would impact you very poorly because of your...
The church would not look
The
at it
church.
greatly, yes. And it's lies. It's just straight lies.
Okay, so let's see. I think that I got a good overview of both of your sides of the situation. So I was organizing some various topics that I think are the main ones that stand out to me. So why don't we go ahead and talk through possible options about these topics, and you can go ahead and tell me, come up with something that feels right for both of you on the given topics that I state, and then we'll go ahead and discuss them and see if we can come up with any middle ground. So first of all, for Miss Peters, it seems that one of the problems that you have right now are the leaves that are coming onto your lawn. You said that was a big issue.
Yes, because the fence that I want actually close off, like, it's pretty tight. You know?
So do both of you agree?
She can't even afford a gardener.
So do both of you agree that it is? Do both of you agree that there is a purpose of the fence? Do both of you agree that you want a fence there? Or is
Yes,
there any
that's why I started
That was
doing
Okay.
our initial.
Okay.
Yeah.
So everyone agrees that the fence is necessary.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. So at least we can agree on that, and we do agree that there should be a fence there, or do you both need it? Okay, so that resolves the leaves on your lawn, at least once the fence is built. So the other main issue is the timing, because you obviously want that as soon as possible.
Right.
Because it is fall and the leaves are falling. I understand that that can be a hassle for you,
Mhm.
and you are trying to keep your renters and keep that money coming in to
Right.
your...
And because our house is close to the school district, the college, so I have these students that will come and go, after I
Mhm.
graduate. So more people are going to come and see the place.
Yeah, so we can go ahead and, so you are worried about the timing and you would like it as soon as possible
Right.
built. So, Mr. Wilson, how do you feel about the timing? Do you need it right away or do you feel that it doesn't have to be built?
I don't see the urgency,
Mm-hmm.
but whatever,
Okay, so previously you were saying that you were taking your time building it and that you felt that it was your hobby and that you were using it as an outsource for your potential anger issues and that it was a nice hobby for you to participate in. So do you still feel that you want to do it yourself?
Preferably to save money, yeah. I mean, I'm retired.
Okay, so
it's not
saving
like
money
I
is...
have income. I don't have income just like coming in,
Okay,
and I don't rent my house out to random people.
But
So
4 months, or like, yes, you're retired and everything, like, you never started.
Okay, so 4 months is when
it's been started.
You have materials, but I never see you out in the yard trying to build it.
I did start it.
So the main issue I see actually from both your sides is that you want to save money. So that is a concern with both of you. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And
so
4,000 is just wild.
Okay. Well, the 4,000 would be split. Oh, that's actually the already split. So you already paid.
I paid full amount because he hadn't paid for it.
So
yet.
you paid 4,000, and
Mhm.
were you charging him the full amount, or were you charging him just 2,000?
I think it would be fair to only charge him 2,000.
But you see, I wasn't gonna even charge her for labor.
But he doesn't want to pay any of it.
And I was going to already. I already paid $2,500 for the material.
So you feel that you don't want to pay any.
I feel that I don't owe her anything. If her person wants to pay, or she wants to pay some other person that amount, then she'll have to do that herself because that wasn't our original agreement.
Okay, so you already paid 2,000 for your
$2,500 in
materials.
materials, yeah, and the labor was gonna be free on my behalf.
Okay, so and was there in that did you consider that aspect of that you would save money if you used Mr. Wilson's labor instead?
I never knew that he bought his materials. I tried to contact him. He was always in the church. And yeah, there's miscommunications between us. But like I said, I asked him to build the fence in October. In February, nothing happened. And
was there specific times or days during the week that you tried to contact him that maybe he was unavailable during those times?
I don't know.
I never got contacted. I never got any messages.
Did you leave any
I even tried
voicemails
to
when
text.
you called him?
No one texted.
I don't have his
I do
phone
the text.
number, but
I do
I
the
definitely
text.
left a note on his door before.
I didn't get it.
Okay, so maybe
I mean,
we
you never
could-
try to come up to my house and like, hey, sorry for the delay.
What
or
am I
something.
supposed to do? Come up to your house? You're gonna accuse me of raping you all of a sudden? I'm not gonna get near you.
Okay, I just don't want to make sure we are not making any accusations
Yes.
because it is clear that you guys could not have this communication before face to face because that's why you hired me and I'm here to be in the middle and we can start to resolve this because I do know that previously you guys could not have face to face communication, so we can go ahead and agree that it would not have been possible for you two to have some kind of communication about this. So that is the biggest problem. So I just want to make sure that we use this time wisely here to go ahead and try to come up with some sort of potential agreement about the fence, or at least for you to both have some sort of understanding that you do see that the communication before could not physically happen. So do you guys understand all of it?
But yeah, I do. I just feel like it's just not going anywhere.
Well, do you feel that it is still helpful and that you are coming towards what could be a solution, or do you feel that at least, as you can see, Mr. Wilson has listened to your side and he has did you learn more from his side that you didn't know before about the parts that he bought for the fence that you didn't, the supplies? And,
Yeah, I just learned that today. I mean,
and you see he was willing to, he's hearing, he's willing to come up with a solution, even though he feels that at first the situation was not important to him. So he is here, and I think that's a big adjustment that happened.
I mean, my friends already, built this fence. $4,000. I paid fully, and because I didn't know you already got the materials for $2,500,
So what's an option that you propose?
I
to Mr.
propose
Wilson?
that if you can return those materials that you have at home, but you did damage some part of the fence, and I think you should pay extra for that to finish building that.
So how much do you propose that Mr. Wilson pays?
$3,000.
$3,000 out of the $4,000 that
Yes.
you paid.
Yes.
Because it is going to be another $1,000, you said, for the repairs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
I haven't proposed.
and that would be, what would the time frame for the fence to be done? Would it be done in another 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, Mr. Wilson, how do you feel about that?
I think 3,000 is outlandish
Okay.
because I already spent 2,500, and you
Mhm.
want me to spend another 3,000,
I wouldn't, if you can
and
return
then
it.
you want to make it. That's going to be what, $6,500 for a fence?
So is
you
it
return
possible?
it,
Is
no?
it possible for you to return
No,
the
the
supplies
lumber
that
yard
you
will
have?
not take back the materials.
Okay.
But what I am willing to do
Mhm.
is subtract half of the cost that I have spent on the lumber.
Mhm. So it's gonna be 1,000.
250.
Mhm.
So I'll pay the other 1,250 to her.
So you will pay just that amount. And are you proposing that you finish?
And she
job
can take
yourself?
all the lumber
Are you
and try
proposing?
returning it herself.
Well, are you proposing? Like, are you willing to finish the fence yourself, or is this something that you are
No.
saying you
At
are
this point,
allowed to
if
go
she
ahead
says
and?
she's paid for someone else to do it, they can finish it. But I'm not going to pay for it because that's not what we originally agreed on, and I don't have the money. I simply just don't have the money.
Okay, so but first of all, you are willing to let someone else build the fence.
Yes.
You're okay with that. You no longer feel the need
No,
to.
and
Okay.
I will give
Okay.
her. I will give her the rest of the materials, and she can try returning them.
Okay, if she pays you for half the price of
That
that.
is not fair. Why do I have to do all the work?
Because
So are you?
you hired someone else in the middle of all this.
Right, but $4,000 also include the labor, and plus they can do it way
That
faster
wasn't
than
our
you.
original agreement. That is the point.
So
I never
I'm
agreed.
saying, are you willing to pay for the labor for this person to build the fence?
I'm willing to pay half of what I already have paid, $1,250, and she can take all $2,500 worth of lumber and try.
So
returning
you
it.
want her to pay you that half amount? Is that
No.
correct? You want her
I'm
to
willing
pay
to
half.
pay half of what I already have paid to her,
Mhm,
1,250,
mhm.
and give her all the lumber.
So basically, you haven't paid your part,
So
and you
all-
also
So
is-
basically, total, I will have paid nearly $3,000 something dollars.
which the 250 never got used. To be honest,
That's not my fault. You didn't allow me to.
Okay, so do you feel that this is taking away from the hobby that you once had?
At this point, I don't even care anymore. I just want this to be going.
Okay, well, is there some sort of proposal that you could give to him about something related to your house that you could
Or
give him
if we
as some
could-
sort of hobby that he could, I don't know if you need other repairs or a different project that you could go ahead and let Mr. Wilson do that would count as payment from him.
Yeah, I don't think I want him to be near my property for self-defense. Like,
But
no.
is there anything that would count as some labor? Like, let's say you needed your a new garden or something that he could use the supplies he already has, and it would up the wealth or the amount of your house and up the value. And he could do a hobby, and also he could use the materials that he already bought, and it wouldn't be any charge to you because you did already pay for other labor for the fence. So on top of that, it would be more labor. It would add several thousand onto your value of your house, and all the future renters you could charge more because they would have a garden available. And then that could be something that would benefit both of you.
I mean, we do need a garden. I mean, a front garden. We don't have that.
Mm-hmm.
But he took forever to build a fence. I don't know how he ever gonna make a
If there was
garden.
a time frame for the fence and the garden and the agreement to be made, would you be willing to take his labor on your house as partial payment or full payment? Did you want him to still pay you for the fence labor as well?
Yeah.
So how much would you be willing to pay Mr. Wilson? Are you agreeing to?
I'm willing to pay out of my own pocket on top of what I already have paid, $1,250.
Mhm.
That's my.
So you still are
Fix
willing
his
to do that?
damage.
That's not to fix any damage. That's to just get it going.
And then on top of that, you would be willing
And I would
to
be willing to maybe
help her with the
possibly
garden.
do some other work to keep myself busy.
Because it also would count as some payment towards her.
Sure.
Because you do have the $2,500 in supplies. So those are supplies that you can go ahead and use towards her house. And you do understand, Ms. Peters, that he has $2,500 worth of supplies that he would be then giving to you into your house. On top of that, it would be another, let's say, $2,000 worth of labor for, because you did mention at the beginning that she doesn't have a gardener. So that is something that it would be about more charge that if he was acting as your gardener and helping build that garden. So do you feel he also is willing to still pay you $1,250? So do you feel that all of these are enough to pay you back for that $4,000 for the fence? Because on top of the $1,250 that he's going to pay you, plus the $2,500 that he already is going to give you as well, worth in supplies, and and labor on top of that. So do you feel that that is fair now that you see how much would be going into the value of your house and how much would be coming back to you?
I mean, I want to ask you: are you willing to use that $2,500 of the supplies for my house and do the gardening work for me?
Well, we already have the materials, so it might as well get used.
Are you okay with the time frame though that Mr. Wilson has and that his
I would
schedule
like at
and
least 2 or 3 months.
Besides the fence, honestly, I don't care how long he takes to do other stuff. I mean, other
Okay,
stuff
so
are
you
not
don't have
important.
a time frame for this, so he can go ahead and do his hobby at his
Yeah.
own pace, and it'll count as repayment towards you. And then the fence, you can go ahead and have your friend continue with the fence, fix the part that he destroyed, and he is still paying you $1,250 for that.
Okay.
And the fence should be built, you said, in another 2 weeks. So in 2 weeks, we both agree that there will be a fence within the 2 weeks that her friend is going to build with his own materials. And after that, or during the same time, Mr. Wilson is going to be working on your house with those materials to use them along with the labor to go ahead and pay you back, and it will resolve his hobby, and then also you will get more value on your house. And you both were concerned that there was no gardener. So can we both agree on the time frame and the amount paying and
Sure.
everything according to
I
the
guess it'll
fence?
work, you know?
I guess it's just the best option there is right now. So.
I mean, do you feel that there are any concerns with this option? Is there anything that worries you?
I want to make sure there's something there that gives me at least 2 to 3 months. Because I don't want her coming and saying again that
You don't want to
is
feel
not-
rushed
yes.
because this is just a hobby for him.
yes, it's
So do you
not easy
understand
for me.
that, or do you see his side that,
Yeah, I understand that he's, wants to fill in his time doing his hobbies. Great. I mean, this is like $4,000 out of my pocket, and it's not easy.
okay,
Sure,
do you
it's
see
all
her
about it.
side as well? Do you see that she,
I can understand, but everything has a process, and you should have just asked.
okay, so also this is another step that we can talk about that in the future, are you willing to talk about things before someone takes action regarding anything about the fence or anything about the property line or any construction going on either
Yes,
house?
and one thing we also need to make sure her friend follows the proper property line.
Okay,
and doesn't
so
go off in the wrong direction.
is there a way that you can direct your friend over to Mr. Wilson's house to discuss?
No, I don't want to talk to him. He can go to the county records and get that from them.
Okay, so can you go ahead and pass that on and make sure that your friend is in fact building it on the property line? Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and have you guys sign the agreement that says the amount that you are going to owe her and the amount that she paid previously and the amount of work that you're going to do towards her house to repay her. And also the agreement that it is going to be at that exact location of the property line and the time frame for everything to be done. So do you want to go ahead and sign as well? Okay, so this is now recorded in a written agreement. And so let's go ahead and review everything that we accomplished. So do you feel that the mediation helped at all today in your relationship or also with the main problem with the fence?
I think our issues with the fence are resolved.
Mm-hmm.
I think the relationship will just have to give it time.
Mm-hmm. Do you
And
feel that
fix these things overnight.
it's heading in the right direction towards,
I would hope because we live next to each other, so I don't want to have any animosity with you. And as long as you're good to me, I'll be good to you.
It's just that time when he was so angry towards us. It just really scared us. And I don't know. I think it will take a long time for us to forget about that. And
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I hope that everything with the fence gets cleared up and that your relationship continues to head in the right direction. And I wish you both well. And I thank you for both being here for the mediation and being here today and
Thank you,
being
Ms.
willing
Elizabeth, for
to.
helping us resolve our issues.
All right, great. Okay.
Take care.
Oh man.
I'm sure it was still recording.